Hello, 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 kings, queens, and everybody in between. You know what we're here to do because we do it so very well. Your favorite podcaster's favorite podcast, folks, it's Clout.WAV. And today, we got to talk about some people who were formerly unemployed, who are still being treated like they're slaves, but we're not here to be over the top. We're here to keep things measured, fine, and down to earth. These are the words and the qualities that would describe our prolific host, Subtle Fraudulence. How you doing, my man? You doing good this week? Everything doing good in the neighborhood?
No, but you know,
Not
we
no. We persevere.
We gotta keep going. Yeah, we gotta keep persevering. You know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and we got to make everybody remember there's a light at the end of that second tunnel, man. You know, there are new games coming. There are new things coming out. You know, Street Fighter 6 is still pretty good. Yeah, the world still turns, even though we got some weird things like some lady on an airplane being like, over there, it's not real. I will not stay here with that. And it's just like people are just like,
oh, did you see the follow-up performance?
No, I did not.
There's a dude in a green shirt who's like, no, you guys can't take me. And like their plane looks like it's already in the air. Like they're already cooked. Like this man's like, no, you don't understand. They're coming from all angles. This man was cutting
these days. We gotta have a talk about how like mental illness is becoming a lot more common.
It's going insane, ain't it?
Yeah, people who try to like appear to be like, you know, like completely well, completely stable, are actually the most mentally unstable person in the room. And then they're given a certain circumstance, and that is where they shine. And then someone records it. And they hope someone records it because that's a part of their mental illness. And fuck, man. Like,
hey, man, they'll be on Vlad TV next week. Almost. That's how I got on, man. You know?
Oh, my fucking God.
I'm not a big time conspiracy theorist, but, you know, I saw what that one girl was doing. You know, I'm not a hater. You know what I mean? There was that one girl who got on and she licked toilet seats during COVID. So, you know, I just pretended I was seeing demons in the back of the plane. You know, game recognized game, bro. It's lit.
Toilets, bro.
That was a real story arc, bro. That really happened, ladies and gentlemen. Look it up if you don't believe me. She was like, COVID's not real. licking toilet seat. Like, come on, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing as like members of what I thought at one point was a functioning society? Clearly not.
Look. There was a point in time when conspiracy theories are like fun, you know. It's like, ooh, the Katy Perry might be John Benet Ramsey. Oh my God, that's great, you know, that kind of thing. And instead, it's like, no, demons have been summoned here by the Democrats to show up on your plane and crash your plane so that you can be a victim and they can sacrifice you to Satan.
Look, 2023 is a weird year because how is it that it's 2023 and I miss Jack Thompson, Anita Sarkeesian, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I even miss Alex Jones. Yes, Alex Jones. Do you know when's the last time we saw a conspiracy theorist saying like, you're faking a fraud and I'm coming? Like, come on, where's the quotables at, huh? And the best thing we've gotten recently is those people don't exist. I don't know who they are. It's like, come on, man. That's the best thing we got.
What about Ye? Doesn't he have like quotable things that he said recently or something? No,
man. That man has recently decided he wants to be financially stable again. Like Alex Jones was such a pure conspiracy theorist. He back-ended ghost wrote Guilty Gear Strive. If any of y'all know the clip I'm talking about, he starts talking about the controls and how there's control variables and how there's an outside conclave. And I'm like, this man is just describing the plot between Exerd and Strife. Like, clearly he's aware.
I thought of an idea. Go to some sort of conspiracy theory like forum, like, you know, what the Facebook groups or like r/conspiracy or something like that, and just post the story to Guilty Gear. Post it in a way like post it without the character names or anything like that. Just post the stuff about the backyard, all of those things. See if people really believe that it's real and that's what's going on right now. Because
I'm sure you would hook somebody. Because people believe that Alex Jones was telling them the truth about the putting stuff in the water that's making the frogs gay. There, you see, the thing is like the reptiles. As we know, some breeds are allowed to manipulate their DNA so a male can become female. That's what they want to do to your kids, so you can be a natural transgender. So, you know, they're trying to push this shtick, and it's like, what? This man thinks we about to be an Animorphs.
Those are the things he said. Yeah, like that. Like shit. That's exactly what he says, and it makes no sense.
And it's
So
like,
people
hey,
are
man,
like, "Oh, he's a prophet. You know, he's a man of God."
Hey, remember Francis Declan? I can't say what he said, but that brother was, when that man went into that, it's time for the Frankenstein controls. I was like, oh, brother, this guy's cooked. This guy is delusional. This guy's not real. Just look up Declan Esquire, Frankenstein controls. It's an autocomplete. You will thank me later. Very not safe for work. Do not listen to where children can hear it, because that man's a straight up racist. I'm just letting you know. But when you get in there, you realize CTE comes in many forms. But speaking of head trauma based decisions, we got to talk about Elon Musk. All right. I do not trust it.
Yeah.
Because you see, Twitter has found itself in some hot water over the past few weeks because Elon Musk has decided, hey, I'm going to go double down. I'm going all in. I see what Instagram and the metaverse is doing over there with their threads. I seize it. I'm locking eyes with it. And I got to say, I must articulate myself and say, we might have to press charges. We may have to go through with legal action. We believe that y'all are doing something in bad faith in a competitive space known as social media management. And we feel as though in this industry, you are stealing some of our proprietary assets. You've stolen our people who used to work under us. You've stolen their knowledge, and we're not going to stand for it over here in Metaland. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our stuff back. We're going to take the fight to the metaverse. And folks, you may think that I'm crazy challenging Zuckerberg to the 1v1, knowing his MMA background, but he may beat me with the hands in the center of that ring, but I got him on lockdown in the courtroom because we are thinking about pressing charges and suing the metaverse for stealing from your good old boys and girls here at Twitter. Now, you may be saying, wait, you're telling me that he sees Threads as like some way to sue them because Threads is too close to the Twitter regime? Is that what you're saying? It's too close to the Twitter infrastructure? Which, on one hand, okay, maybe I could see it. I ain't see you running this fade with Blue Sky Social. And that's literally the guy that made it.
Because they're not a threat, you know, like Blue Sky. I mean, it's invitation only right now and stuff. I mean, hey, Jack Dorsey may be like endorsing it and stuff, but like, who's on that right now? You know, they're not even taking invitations right now. So, like, what are you talking about?
It's like, if there's anywhere that would be a threat, I mean, they got your color scheme, buddy.
Actually, you know what? This is probably what Elon Musk has like said to people who have posed that exact same question. Well, you see, when you play 5D chess like me, what you got to understand is that some of these companies can be left alone if they're not a big enough threat to your profit margin. But a company like Instagram doing this, well, that's a slap in the face. I mean, we respect each other as social media platforms, and yet somehow they decide to get in on my game. It's not like I decided that I would make Twitter have pictures. Actually, we're removing the ability to have pictures on Twitter very, very soon.
And you want to know something that's like really, really sad about it, though?
What?
It's not just that he's suing on the grounds of your work is too similar to me. It's that he's gone even further to push the agenda of what you guys have done has taken our employees, some of which who still have obligations to the company. How could you do that? And I'm like, look, folks, listen, fam. You don't get to fire people, then turn around on social media and say, we fired all those idiots, finger guns, losers. Look at those unqualified, dilapidated brains. Just absolutely useless. I wouldn't even give them to my worst enemy because you don't need that many idiots chimpanzeeing around to run social media. It's easy. It's a layup. So we got rid of so much of the dead weight. Hell, some of them, we didn't even have the courage to fire them face to face in the office. We just closed down their laptops remotely and they got the message. Bam. And then turn around, do a pirouette, and then go to those same people. Whoa, you can't work there. You don't get to do that.
He literally fired people who have like keys to the Twitter API. They have like actual like access to Twitter API, and like they continue to have access to it after they were fired because no one did anything about it because he probably didn't even understand what that meant. I will never forget the sequence where a Twitter employee corrected Elon Musk on something, and then Elon he went and berated this man through tweets. Found out that the guy is disabled, berated him some more, and then basically said, "You're fired because you should be working instead of sitting here tweeting." And was like, "Bro, you own the company and you're tweeting with him. Like, what are you talking about?" Like, also, if I work at Twitter, how am I not allowed to tweet? Like, isn't that good for the platform? Not only is it testing to make sure that things are working properly in the production environment.
Here's my thing. Do you
how it works?
Here's my thing. Do you have to slide in Elon's DMs as a Twitter employee? Because he just doesn't strike me as the type of person that's reading all his emails. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I feel like he'd be more interactive if you added him on Twitter and he's scrolling through his notifications. I feel like there might be a higher chance that he'll see it there as opposed to you sending him an email and he don't even think about it for 4 to 5 days. Because he's always on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because he be arguing with pissant people who ain't got nothing to do with anything he's even put together. People who we're not even concerned if they're even real. He's always on about, we got to get rid of the bots, which he's done a terrible job of, by the way. The bots are still winning, all right?
Bro, the bots are DMing me now. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. It wasn't like this before. I'm getting more bots who are just DMing me. Hey, yeah, would you like to DM my friend here on WhatsApp? And it's like, what? No,
bro, have you gotten the super insane ones where it's like you look at it, it says you plus like 80 others, and it's just like some weird, clearly bad photoshopped, very petite woman from overseas with the caption just like, "Would you like to plow me backdoor style?" And it's like, what? Who
like,
are you people?
Allowed? Like,
you
what are the parameters? Like, what are the parameters to seeing that these bots exist and getting rid of them? Because, like, that's one of the obvious ones right there. Someone who's just sending that to random people or adding them to a list and then doing that. You know what I mean? Like come on, man.
Or like every other week we see that scammer who like is always talking about they're about to go homeless, they're on their last check, and it's like, if over 50 people have reported this person for being a shiesty person behind the scenes, you figure they've been gone off the platform. But meanwhile, you got people like Jackal, who's actually in our chat right now. He'll tell you he reported someone for being a documented sex offender within the community. Said, watch out for this guy specifically because he's a serial toucher and he's on the loose. And that was back in like 2017.
Yep.
His account got locked down. Yeah, but Jackal's account got locked down for that tweet last week.
Huh? What?
Something he said like in 2018. Twitter decided we gonna lock his ass up last week.
That's grounds for Facebook to sue now, or I'm sorry, Meta. That's grounds for Meta to sue now because that's the type of shit that they do. Hey, yeah, this tweet that or this post that you made like I don't know 10 years ago that we approved back then. Yeah, your account is actually getting suspended for 2 weeks because of it, and we need you to get rid of that post right now. And it's like
and because that's a core value to the metaverse, the fact that Twitter's doing it years later, yeah, you might have to come up out of that, Elon Musk. Maybe Zuckerberg gonna hit you with the meanest countersuit you've ever seen. But,
also, I think I'm right there with you on like he doesn't check his emails because he definitely tweeted to try and get some of those people he fired to come back. So
yeah, like he noticed he didn't email, he ain't call him, he ain't hit up none of the generic contact information. His first thought was, I'll tweet at him. That's what I'll do.
Hey, if you're one of those people that I fired in that mass purging of the company when I came on, there's actually an opportunity for you to get a job at Twitter. So like, you should hit me up. You should DM me so
But
we
here's the
could like,
thing.
situate
All
that.
those
Sorry.
people are going to tell them yesterday's price ain't today's price, brother. Whatever I was getting paid before, we going to have to time and a half that minimum. Because a lot of these other places that are, chomping at the bit to get people in there who are qualified, certified, and sure, they may have a little insider knowledge on how the Twitter API works, but, that's something that is called work experience. It comes with the territory. Because, folks, I don't know if you know this, the infrastructure for a lot of these websites aren't too much different from each other. And in the ways that they are different, those intricate details, those things that are proprietary, can be changed where you'll get the same result yielded, but it's a different subset of infrastructures that take place to get to that said result. Like, sure, if we need to get 16, you can do 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. You can do 4 times 4. You can do 4 squared. The way we got there, the operation of it, a little bit different, but boy, did we get to that 16. And there's so many ways to build a website, build a social media platform.
Yep.
And all you have to do is, can you hook the people? And the problem that I have with Threads is it's just Twitter with a new coat of paint, but with all the same restrictions, if not even stricter restrictions from what we've seen from Instagram. And folks, I gotta say it. The reason why I don't believe in Threads is because I don't believe in Instagram. Most of the people who liked Instagram don't even like Instagram no more. Y'all don't even like the gram no more. The gram is the booty app and the booty call app and the flex on them app. That's it. Unless you selling clothes, artwork, or you busting that thing open, Instagram may not be the place for you as a creator. Not saying it's impossible.
Booty does bring a lot of people to the yard, as they would say. But yeah, there's still a lot of people who are on Instagram, and like some people who weren't on Twitter who have an Instagram. That's the only good thing I've seen so far of Threads. That's like those people instantly can like make a Threads account using their like Instagram account and their Instagram bio and all that shit. And it gives you a follow all option so that like, hey, even if they don't have an account right now, as soon as they make one, bam, you follow them. They can follow you back.
Here's my other complaint.
Post with each other.
Here's my other complaint. If you do not have an Instagram account and you just decided that you wanted to go ahead and make a Threads account, you can't skip that. Having an Instagram account is a prerequisite to making a Threads account, which, by the way, is only available on your mobile device. So if you don't have a phone and you just wanted to use the desktop, like, because I know a lot of people use Twitter desktop. Before it was restricted to Twitter Blue, they used to use TweetDeck and other equivalents like that. You can't even do that. So a lot of people might peep in, realize it's kind of dry, and people are getting suspended for just asking relatively vulgar or not safe for work text-based statements. And I'm not talking like anything crazy or using slurs or, being an abhorrent racist or, saying something sexist or saying something that is threatening somebody's livelihood. But I mean, just asking, genuine questions can get you suspended because they don't push the full rated R-ness of Twitter where you could get anything. You can see anyone. It's a much more PG-13 dialed back. So, some people just said, where are my lesbian mutuals at? And they got suspended for that.
Hey, man, it's new. See, luckily they're at the point in time where they can get away with a little bit of that because they're like, oh, shit, that's a mistake.
Oh, I get it. There's a grace period. There's a honeymoon period. But this is also the metaverse and Instagram. Most of the people who used to like Facebook, guess what? They left Facebook for a reason. The people who are on Instagram, they left Instagram for a reason. So now that they're bringing Threads, they're going to have to do a lot more than just be Twitter, but black and white.
Well, I don't think they're like initially trying to get those people to come back. They're just trying to get their user base amongst the two to come to one place and post things in one place and then attract more people, but so I think Threads will be fine in that aspect, especially because it's not like they can go to Twitter. I mean, The algorithm on Twitter is not. It's not very welcoming at all.
Well,
At
look
all.
at the very least, Threads isn't DDoSing itself. At least there's that.
Yeah, it's not DDoSing itself. It's not giving you like gore and like random racism.
Speaking of
like...
which, there was a clip that was going around this morning, and I was just scrolling through my feed, minding my own business, and in my brain, I thought it was a prop. I thought it was like a movie scene, and I didn't really think anything about it. I just kept scrolling. Then I saw it again from another one of those gimmick accounts. It's like videos that go hard, and there's a motorcycle accident, and the dude's leg is just twitching on the ground. And the dude's just like in shock on the floor. He ain't got no leg. His leg's been amputated. And that's just flowing down my page.
Yeah.
Like, what are we like, huh? You over here talking about you stop the bots. How about you stop having random people popping on my For You page with decapitated body parts? Like, how about that, huh? I don't want to see nobody's head rolling down a mountain. I don't want to see people getting gored by bulls.
Nah, bro, you don't understand. Like, with the new image of Twitter should be live leak with comments, bro. Come on, man.
Look, that's the last thing I need, all right? I don't want to be watching The Condemned.
Oh, I see. So you're one of those weak liberals that just can't even stomach seeing a little bit of gore here and there. I bet you don't like guns either.
I mean, I have several, but that's not the point. We're not here to talk about guns. My God, I'm talking about. Look, if I have to shoot a man and he bleeds, hey, I signed up for that. I know what a gun does, and they knew what they did when they trespassed into my house. What I didn't is just eating my breakfast, eating my syrup-covered waffles, and all of a sudden, look at his leg. Like, that's not. I'm eating, fam. I'm eating. And it's like, you could say that, oh, well, just put on like, safety image. You know what I mean? Just like put on the safe image filter. That don't even work.
A word? Yeah, it doesn't.
Trust me when I tell you that don't work. It'll be like, it'll catch some things, but other things you just be scrolling and all of a sudden you're looking deep and you got somebody laying there talking about this is how the inside of my innermost regions spreads out. And they just spreading the cheeks, just parting the sea. Got a little inner tube cam that's just going right up the rectum. Why? Don't know. Couldn't tell you, boss. You got random videos where somebody would be like, if you want to know how to get rid of blackhead pimples, and it's just some gloved hand just showing somebody's face explosion. What we doing here?
Well, it's because they fired the person who's supposed to like handle taking care of that, Look,
I believe it.
I gotta remind you, when a new Mortal Kombat game is being developed, they have a team of people who are dedicated to just watching videos of people getting like eviscerated in several ways, just so that the fatalities can be accurate.
All right, can we talk about that? All right, look, this may be a quick aside. This may be blasphemous. I'm sorry. Look, as someone who's played Mortal Kombat for like ever, since like inception, since like my birthright, you have to understand that there was a huge shift in what the gore was, okay? Back in the day, I could hit somebody with this move right here. This is all I did. See it right there? Uppercut. My character goes, hey! And somebody would explode into 14 rib cages, 42 skulls, 2 hearts, teeth going everywhere, femurs, more bones than you can shake a stick at. Just go flying in the air.
Cartoony.
It looks goofy. It's silly. It's 2D. It's sprite based. There's ketchup going everywhere, and then like the dude is in pieces, and he's still going. Like it was clearly a shit post. Go to the 3D era. They were bleeding like somebody had a ketchup blaster, okay? Like clearly still silly, unreal. They had a fatality where Quan Chi just jumps on your back, lifts your head up, and you get long neck. You got that. You get that Kelly Loeffler neck. You get that giraffe neck, and that's it.
That was right where they were so close to the line. It's like all they had to do was stop right there when it came to the fatalities and stuff, and it would still be cool and then also like graphic or whatever in the way that they wanted it to be.
Because here's the
but
thing.
Then they're like, no, we need more.
No, here's the thing. A lot of the fatalities used to just be funny. We laugh like when we hit somebody with a fatality, we knew we were about to laugh, bro. Like the most gory thing, and it was still funny. Cyrax just and a claw came out and went do 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 do, like Toy Story, the claw, and it just grabbed you and just slam, 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 and then like when you were all tenderized, it pulled you into his chest, and he started doing the Harlem Shake, and it was blending you. You heard, and then he just leaned back, opened up his chest, and you exploded out in a bunch of chunks. And that was like the most visceral it was.
Smoke had a similar one where like just giant claw comes out and just squashes you. And it looked cartoony, and there was a cartoony nose. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
And then you had the animalities where it was just like really bad animal sprite, and then
It's like a JPEG.
And like it was fine, like even all the way up to the 3D era. But at some point they said, forget about the funny.
It's gotta be real.
What type of absolute slaughterhouse can we come up with next? And like some of them aren't even done to like elicit a laugh or an emotion. They're kind of trying to get the audience to go, I don't know if I want to see that one too often. They're trying to make you a little bit squeamish. And personally, I don't necessarily care, mainly because it's like, all right, cool, whatever, it doesn't really bother me. But what we shouldn't do is lie to ourselves and say that the goalpost of what a fatality was supposed to elicit from the audience, like the goalpost has not moved.
It has.
Because it is a very different environment that they're trying to culminate over there and cultivate.
Like technology has added to that, and I get it, they're like increasing it with the graphics of the game and all this shit. Yeah, but people try to make this weird argument that because fatalities have always been like gruesome or like gruesome things happening or whatever, that like them being gruesome now is not different, and it's a part of the culture of the Mortal Kombat games. And it's like, no, man.
Bro, to me,
this shit was cartoony before.
To me, that is the same argument that I hold against the new God of War games. I'm not saying God of War 2018 or Ragnarok are bad, but I need you to understand, if you had a restaurant that you loved going to, let's just say it sold pizzas, best pizzas you ever had, but it was at the prices of Little Caesars. Every time you ever wanted anything out of a pizza, this establishment gave it to you, and it was only for $5.99. Large pizza. You loved it. Went there 2, maybe 3 times a week. You wanted just to get a slice after school. You hop the fence. You're saying you go down the road. You make sure that you were fully satisfied with your purchase every time. Then all of a sudden, that business owner who runs that pizza joint goes, we got all this space in here. We could really just open up, take down that interior wall, turn this into your all-you-can-eat buffet. And pizza is not something that necessarily will sell to most people multiple times a week. So, on all-you-can-eat buffet, maybe we'll get some regulars who come in, maybe once or twice a week. And, we'll really open up diversify our income. We'll really open up the consumer market. We'll actually see and open up our boundaries, make sure we can get more eyes, more taste, more palates in here. And therefore, they do that. They sack your pizza. Your pizza's gone. No more pizza for you. But they got all types of fried foods, from your burgers, fries, your fried shrimp. They got fried tilapia on Thursday nights. They got chicken. They got a whole rotisserie meat bar. They got all types of stuff in there, and they're doing bigger business than ever. Now, we're not saying that the new restaurant sucks, but it's not the pizza we wanted. So a lot of us who like the original God of War trilogy, the hack and slash, the button combos, because remember, I don't know if you guys do, but the original trilogy, there was like 40 different enemy types in these games. There was crazy variety. Everything had its own weakness. There was like the story. A lot of people just say, it was just an angry man who randomly had sex with like Medusa head people. That is a gross oversimplification of what went on in that little series there. But it was everything that we wanted to see culminate in something beautiful and have a great payoff of a man's revenge story paying off, and him finally getting up out the trenches and just seeing what the other side of his goals could look like. Like, he was really going through it from an emotional standpoint. And then all of a sudden, 2018 comes around, and it's more of a walking simulator. They cut down on enemy variety. Game looks phenomenal. Game on its own is solid. But anybody who's looking for that core God of War experience, you didn't get that. And I'm not saying that you can't like new God of War. I'm not even saying that new God of War is bad. What I am saying is it's annoying when people act like the change didn't happen. Same thing with the Mortal Kombat fatalities. The goalpost and what they wanted to do has clearly moved. That is all I am saying. I just want us to pay attention to that.
Look,
because
man.
we see it a lot with movies. When they come out with a remake and it's like it's not even the same genre of the original material.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at Bel Air. Bel Air is a good show. But if you came in there for traditional Fresh Prince sort of aura, it's not there. You're not going to find it. It does not happen. There's no reason for you to watch it. They only tied the Bel Air name to it because if it was just called LA, it didn't have the staying power of a Snowfall. It wasn't, the characters aren't good enough on their own. And the storytelling isn't good enough on its own that you needed to have the prerequisite of, oh no, we know the Fresh Prince of Bel Air story, and that told all the backstory stuff that you really needed to know. And they just used that to piggyback off that to springboard whatever project Bel Air was going to blossom into. Because the second season's already out now? So
yeah.
But yeah, like that's just what they're doing. And it's something that happens so common. And I'm not going to lie, it's kind of annoying to me, but you know, they can still bring good work to it.
It's like, okay, you can throw the like reboot argument onto MK1 because MK1 is a reboot, so they could be like, oh, we're adding more gore because, you know, we want this to go in a different direction. But like the first trailer for the game had like a good, like solid, 1 to 2 minutes of just people getting like eviscerated in all kinds of like crazy ways, and they're like, you see, it's all back. And I'm like, that man literally got ripped in half, and I heard the noises. It's like, that wasn't entertaining. That was just
that swashing spit when Liu Kang went up into the skybox and said, "It's over for you, sorcerer." I was like, "Oh, all right, hey man, you green eggs and have it, I guess." And then you look at, you know, MK1, and here's what I think of the gameplay. Anyways, I think it looks fantastic. Now that might be because I've been dragged through almost half a decade of this thing called Mortal Kombat 11, but
yeah, I'm sorry,
it's eons ahead of that from a visual standpoint. I do like the fact that they've come back around to doing something that's stylistic, because I got really tired of the minimalist like backgrounds and UI. Like, I know they just like, but we made it gold in 11. Like, this looks like something that they're actually trying to have a traditional style with. Look, anybody who goes back to Mortal Kombat 9, I hate to bring up MK9, but when you look at the art style, the UI, the fact that the victory icons were skulls, the health bars actually had animations to them. Because when's the last time in an MK game we've seen the character portrait at the top of the screen? When's the last time? Spoiler alert, it's MK9. Yeah. Damn. Like, see, that's something that I don't pay attention to too much, but like, yeah, I mean, you're 100% correct on that, and it sucks. And remember, the meter in MKX was a white bar, just a little white, doop, that's it. In MK11, it was a big L shape and a big J shape of 2 defensive bars and 2 offensive bars, which automatically recharge. Like, the whole thing, from just a visual perspective and a gameplay perspective, for MK11's sake, was kind of a mess. But at least here, they're trying to like actually bring a style to it again, and I couldn't be more excited to see it. I didn't get a chance to play the beta because I'll be getting it on PC, and us PC folk weren't invited to the beta because
Yeah, they fucking hate us, man. Like, oh yeah, you want to play the beta console only.
And
That's
like,
right.
I'm pretty sure that they did that because they saw what happened to the Street Fighter 6 beta and said, "Oh no, you ain't cracking us. We ain't going out like that." I'm assuming that's what this precaution was for. But
Probably, but
as I've seen, I think that the game is going to do pretty well. Obviously, it's going to sell well. And from what I've seen from the combos and the cameo system, I think things look great. But we should talk about the nitty and the gritty because a trailer, well, technically 2 trailers dropped recently, but the one that we mainly want to focus on is the one that showcased the entirety of the Lin Kuei Mafia pulling up strong. So,
also got to remember that combat cast. We got to talk about that too.
True. So when we really break it down and think about what we saw, it opens up with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and they're talking about, hey man, we gotta spin the block for Earthrealm. Like, forget about being its protector. We should be running things. We should be help leading the new era. And Scorpion's like, you know what, brother, you're right. Then Smoke shows up, and look, I miss the Smoke design from MK9. Of course I do, but this one's not bad. Yeah. This one's really good. Like, just because I prefer the MK9 one is not me saying this one sucks. Because anyone who's saying this one sucks, cope, seethe, burn in the fire. Like, trust me when I tell you, Smoke is cooking, especially with this design. Although it was ruined a little bit because people started referring to that man as Leffen, and I can't unsee it. He looks exactly like him, and it bodied me, brother. It bodied me.
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, we got Smash players in MK. Let's go." And I was like, "Oh, brother, not like this." But
I also like Rain's design. Rain got announced and it showed off that he has pretty much a completely different moveset, and it goes with like his redesign, which is the kind of thing that I want to see more of.
So you want to know something that's really cool?
What?
So remember, in the first timeline, he was a demigod of Edenian descent. What if his father Argus, right, who was the half brother to the demigods Taven and Dagon? What if Argus actually loved this son this time? Because remember, Rain is an Edenian prince, and all he wanted was the Outworld throne. And he was seeking revenge against his father for the death of his mother. What if his mother's still alive, and this was just someone who was actually just raised, and he's actually tapped into his god powers now? Because I'm just saying, last time we saw God with a staff, Raiden in the last timeline, Raiden could cook. What if this was a Rain that wasn't on the run? A man who was actually raised by his father and trained in the ancient watery ways. Rain? Like, from a lore perspective, this could be crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, especially...
Also,
go on.
From a lore perspective, for like what they're trying to build the story for, from what I've like seen and heard in the trailer, I like that it's like, oh yeah, this Liu Kang guy is like, telling us that we got to do all these things to make all these things happen for the sake of the world or whatever. But you know what? Fuck that. Maybe we should own this world because we're the ninjas and we're protecting them. You know what? You should join me so that we can rule this land so that they will be safe under our rule. And it's like, oh.
I mean, what if we take that angle and it becomes like MK9 again, where Sub-Zero is just like, "Nah, you don't understand, Liu Kang," and then Liu Kang has to, give him the assumed chop, and then that's what turns him into Noob Saibot, because he's like, "Your elder god betrayed you, Sub-Zero. I am Noob Saibot," and that's how you would go about doing that or whatever. But the big thing is, apparently, Tarkatans are no longer a species. It's a disease. Because that skin disease is what's stopping Melina from being Khanum or Empress or Queen of Edenia. Because in this timeline, Katana and Melina are twin sisters naturally. But because of an unknown and unresearched illness, that's why her face has become what it's become. Now, I also want to know, is this going to be like some mind degradation disease where not only does she look visceral, her brain starts, getting more primal and more ravenous with hunger? Like, is this going to be one of those weird Katana and like the royal family's got a secret where they got to be like killing random guards at their post at like 2 a.m., throwing them into the room, and then Melina eats them? And it's like, oh, what happened to Frankie? Oh, no one knows what happened to Frankie. We ain't seen Frankie in forever. Like, is that what we're going to get? There are so many little nuggets that they fed us in these trailers. And I'm going to say, we could be way off. Like, we're not saying that we're right. We're not saying that we're Negrodamus and we're propheticizing what's happening in this story with 100% fact. But the fact that Mortal Kombat or hell, a fighting game storyline is getting us to theory craft what might happen is more than I can say for most fighting game stories.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So
that's nice. You know what's not nice? Some of the things they showed us about the system of the game. I'm gonna say it now. Johnny Cage is gonna be at least day one top. Like,
so here's the thing. I think they said we're gonna get 16 at launch, something like that. 16 to 20 at launch, and we've only seen like 7-ish. Like, we've seen 2 relatively extensively. We got 4 in the beta. I think it was Katana, Liu Kang, Kenshi, Sub-Zero.
Right.
And I just feel like if something as simple as Johnny Cage is as wild as what we saw in that combat cast, I know for a fact a character like Smoke having a weapon, the ability to teleport, and the fact that we have cameos that have defensive options, like Scorpion can do his, get over here spear and pull you back and you get like a double backdash. There are so many things in this kit that we're going to be able to utilize for offense, defense. I feel like because of the cameo system, it's going to be a nice way to have some characters that would otherwise be considered low tier have something kind of agree. Because I know I don't like taking other games or other IPs and trying to equate it, but just imagine you're playing like Manon in Street Fighter 6, and you're like, damn, my block string is 2 buttons. That's tough. Now imagine you do your medium target combo, you pull them in, and then you get a character holding a big ass mallet, slam on top of them with an overhead, and it's plus 40. Then you got a command grab. Come on, like that.
Look,
that would be insane.
The thing that got me is that they introduced the concept of like Kung Lao cameo assist. He can teleport you. That's cool. And I was like, oh, that's good for like some mix ups off of a knockdown and shit. And then they showed that you can combo with it, and I'm like, hello, how fast is that? Huh?
But you want to know something? But you want to know something that's really insane about that? Most games where you have an assist, like Dragon Ball, Marvel, or hell, even to a degree, Dengeki, you had to choose which assist. Like if you had multiple assists for a character,
BB tag.
Yeah, you push a direction or you do an input and the assist button, and you will get a different assist. And it looks like there might be 3 to 4 per character. And when you see that Kano Ball had armor and it shreds armor, you get a knockdown, you just got a man spinning there like a rim right on top of you. If you do EX wake up, you're getting your armor broke because he's going to hit you, the other character's going to hit you, and you're going to get launched. So you have to block. You can combo off of throws due to your cameo system. And on top of all of that, to keep in mind, you can use your cameo 2 to 3 times in a single combo, or 2 times in a combo and then once for Oki, and still I think have like 2 utilizations left of it. That's very powerful, especially in a game where you got 1 health bar.
Yep.
This ain't like Tekken Tag where you got 2 characters with 2 health bars.
Look, you're doing damage in this game, and
yeah,
you
like
have all kinds of options off of your assist. It's really, really like interesting, and I really like that they're including this because it's going to make the game very, very fun out of the box. So you're going to have all kinds of combinations you can mess around with, all kinds of things that you can lab.
There is one change that scares the death out of me, though.
Johnny Cage doesn't have a fireball.
No, all of this mix, all of this Oki, all of this high damage, all of this combo potential, all the extensions, all the fact that you can camp somebody's wake up options and stuff them with a single button and a call of your cameo. And in order to break any of this, it requires your entire 3 bars and some. Was it 3 bars and some cameo meter? That's insane. That is a steep cost. One thing I will say is cool is pokes are punishable. Fatal blows can be blown up and sent to the Shadow Realm.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them, at least to the characters revealed so far, have the Cabal effect. AKA, once I get it, you just can't play the game because I can react to anything that you do from any part of the screen and I can just activate it. Because Cabal would run off the screen backwards and pop on the other side. You couldn't throw a projectile. You couldn't jump. Hell, you couldn't push a lumbering button. Or, same thing with Frost. Having that projectile that goes full screen real fast, you threw the projectile, her fatal blow went through your projectile, crushed it, got rid of it. You jumped, big bar underneath your feet, you're dead. Can't block in the air. It's an NRS game, baby. We don't do that here.
Speaking of Frost, how do you feel about her being introduced as a cameo and not like a main playable character yet?
So here's the thing that I'll say about that, and I could be wrong. I could be super wrong. We've seen what the cameo characters look like when we know for a fact they're confirmed as just a cameo. That is a low-res looking Sector and an even lower res looking Cyrax, and we saw what Goro looked like. I saw how much detail was on that Frost, and I'm not getting anybody's hopes up, but I was like, she don't fit the same motif we've seen established with the amount of detail they put in the other people that we know are just cameos. She was as detailed as the rest of the Lin Kuei boys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could be wrong. Maybe she's not there at launch, but I would be willing to bet money that by the end of this game's lifespan, or if it's 2 or 3 seasons down the line, we will have a playable Frost in some way, shape, or form. I'd put money on it. Mainly because, they brought her back and she was and I know this might sound crazy, but she was the story unlock character of the last game.
Yeah, that was so weird.
So I just feel like they are kind of invested in that market. And given the fact that we haven't seen no sight of Jade, they're kind of in the market for expanding their female roster right now.
Yeah.
Because as it stands right now, it looks like Sonya is only a cameo.
Boo.
Which is insane. Which is why I think I do think she's going to show up on the roster. But let's just say,
wait. I want to say this. I want to say this because you did bring that up. They made it very clear that cameo Kung Lao is like MK2 style Kung Lao. So I'm thinking that if Sonya is going to be Sonya's most likely going to be a character in the roster. And the reason why they have MK1 Sonya as an assist is because they're redesigning the character and they want to introduce her in another trailer that's probably going to be focused mainly on people who are going to be on special forces and shit, like Jax, who. Was Jax shown in the first trailer? I don't even remember anymore because I know his assist was.
Yeah, Jax was a cameo. We haven't seen Jax yet.
Okay, yeah. So probably characters like that are going to get their own trailer at some point with their redesigns. Since they're trying to go with this motif of the cameos are a non-canon version of this character from one of the old games. And maybe a similar moveset to the old games, and then the new version we can explore with because Johnny Cage, doesn't have his old power set. Johnny Cage doesn't even have a fireball. He has a command dash. He's a totally different character.
But you want to know something super insane?
What?
We talk about all these characters that were in the game, not in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, some way, and then this is a big asterisk, monumental Arial black size asterisk. Out of all the NRS Mortal Kombat games, Rain hasn't missed a game. That's insane to me. In X, technically you do fight him. Right. It's in story only. That's it. Right. Big asterisk.
Yeah, that's you're right. So fucking oh my god, what was I thinking? Okay, so ultimately when it comes to the characters that have been announced, I keep thinking about this leak list because every time this game gets mentioned to me by other people, they talk about the leak list and they're like, "Oh my
I
god, they said
haven't seen the leak
Homelander."
list because I don't want to know, but I do know about the 2 guest characters. Well, technically the 3 guest characters that they said there's going to be in there.
Ash from Evil Dead, Homelander, and oh my god, Omni Man.
You've heard of a different one. I haven't heard about Ash. I thought people gave up the dream on that. Well, the one I heard about was Peacemaker.
That too. I did see a list that had both Ash and Peacemaker, and so I was like, "You guys believe this? Like, you believe this?" Because with the shit that they're showing, like,
I don't want to see realistic Omni Man. All right,
I don't either.
Because they're just going to make him look like they're going to make him look like buff Mr. Aquaman. Yes, the commentator.
It also
because of that mustache.
It doesn't look like it doesn't seem like this game would work for Omni-Man or Homelander. And guest characters are not going to be like a big thing until like later because they're trying to focus on like redesigning the roster first. You know, like, okay, Street Fighter V was a redesign game, right? They didn't get a guest character until like the very last season. And that guest character was just from like another Capcom property. They had guest costumes eventually, but like the idea at first was like the roster as you knew it is different. So everyone you've seen before is actually new and different because they're older, you know, things have changed. This one is like, hey, the universe has been rebooted, so we're taking all the characters that you've known before and they're different. They don't play the same. They don't do the same shit. They don't look the same in some cases. Like, you don't need to think about Scorpion the way you did before because he's like weapon based now. All the Lin Kuei are using their weapons and shit. You know, Melina has that really weird mouth going on where she looks like a xenomorph. You know, Johnny Cage no longer has the green energy, and Johnny Cage he has like a command dash and this weird like black stuff that comes out of his moves. You know, like we made him very different. We took away his fireball. Which means maybe a lot of characters might not have projectiles, which was interesting.
But you want to know
what's MK9? What, everybody had a projectile?
But you want to know something that's really insane about Melina's new mouth?
What?
I wonder if like they're trying to make her like a vampire because she has the mouth from Blade.
That's what I was thinking.
It's just the Blade mouth.
Yeah, the like enhanced vampires from like Blade 2 or whatever. So I'm like, maybe they're doing that. Maybe they're doing something like that, which could be interesting, but I don't know. Like, it feels kind of like cheap taking Melina, taking like a new Melina and then being like, hey, we instead of like taking the character in a different direction story wise or whatever, we're just gonna lean into the monster thing. And we're gonna make her more of a monster. And so I
feel like that's what they were doing in the. I really hate to bring this up, but the Cole Young experience, the Mortal Kombat movie. Because remember, Melina was played by a black woman in that movie, and we never saw a katana. So the way they make it seem in that movie is like Melina was like her own original creation. So that was an interesting take on that character then.
Yeah, but she was a jobber in that movie, though. Like, they didn't give her...
While that's true, if you look at the MK1 logo, it's the exact same dragon as was in the MK movie. So,
look, don't do this to me, all right?
Like, I don't want to see Cole Young. I don't want to see a Cole Young trailer either. But it could happen, and I'm scared. Somebody hold me.
Because MK2, the movie, is coming out. Like, they're filming for that movie now. So, like, you telling me that, you know, when Kano eventually gets announced as a playable character, he's not going to activate his Arcana or whatever. Yeah, he's going to activate his Arcana.
It's not a birthmark, Cole. That's the worst line we're ever going to hear, man. I don't want to hear it again.
Yeah, shout out to the actor who plays that guy because he's doing well on Law and Order, and I'm happy for that because. That movie was not a way to launch your career. You know what I mean?
That is insane. But that movie, it could touch. Now, you want to know what character from a movie would be super sick to see. And by super sick, I mean don't make them playable. Just put them in a story. Can we at least get some lore on Art Lean?
On who?
Art Lean. The dude who like Charles Barkley in the first Mortal Kombat movie, who got suplexed by Goro.
Oh, you talking about the like friend, like Johnny Cage's friend or whatever?
Fight back! Fight back! No,
he was like saucing up everybody, and then they're like, "Oh, all right, fight Goro," and it's like wait, hold on, I'm here for this.
What in the Sci-Fi Channel? But Johnny Cage over there on the crowd trying to give him tips on how to fight him. I said that man got CTE, bro. He's not hearing you.
Who do you think got it worse, that guy or the jobber during the demonstration of Sub-Zero's powers?
No, the jobber, because they let this man sit here and hit every Fortnite emote in the game. Yeah. That man said, yeah. Man was like, look at my 6-pack, I'm shredded. Yeah. 0% body fat. And Sub-Zero's is like, are you ready? Just started like doing the fucking DX crotch chops. Pusting out.
That was the worst. Is that Sub-Zero's sitting here like, all right, well, let me charge up this fireball here, and the guy's like, and then he just fucking gets hit by an obvious ice ball and dies. And I'm like,
no, the thing is, Sub-Zero didn't even hit him. He threw an ice ball. The dude jumped into it, got frozen, and Sub-Zero just stepped to the side. And the dude crashed against some stairs and exploded. I was like, come on, bro. Also, Art Lean definitely landed some punches on Goro's stomach. So, Shang Tsung, you're wrong. You're wrong when you said flawless victory. It was not flawless. Goro took at least 2% chip. Sorry, it's just something that's always aggravated me.
Yeah, I completely understand. But, you know, nothing beats MK Annihilation replaying a clip of someone dying for someone else's death. So, like,
look, Rain dying twice is one of the greatest gems that cinema has ever brought us. Because every time I watch that movie, I point it out, and they go, wait, what? And they go, look, that's not Baraka that falls into the pit. And they rewind it where Baraka's supposed to fall into it. Then they press play, and it's like, no, it's just Rain again. Yep.
That's a ninja.
They said, I said, that Party City mask was way too expensive. They only had 2 of those. They weren't burning them.
It's X.
So they're like, nah, man, just throw Rain again. Oh!
I gotta say this about MK1. Is there something you see, like, whenever you see the animations in these trailers, like, happening, there's something that just feels, like, off-putting about it.
Okay, so that's just NRS. NRS has been notoriously bad at their animations and making them look realistic. And what I mean by that isn't like the game looks great. The fights that you see and the choreographies you see and the cutscenes look great. But when you have like sprites or, you know, you're doing simulated, you know, 3D like Street Fighter, they always have them facing like 45-degree angle. Like, you know, like they're always like facing the screen.
Right.
In MK, they're all at like different angles depending on how they want to fight. So like it's real awkward when they crouch low and like they just stick their foot out there. Like the way they animate it, it just looks awkward, and it looks like you look at any MK game from the NRS era. Look at any Katana's down 3. She's like in a Slavic squat, and then she stretches her leg. You're not keeping that balance, bro.
Look. It's not even like the like specific animations themselves. It's just like looking at everything, like the way it flows in the trailers does not look right. But like the game itself, like seeing the footage from the beta was very good for their marketing, because like at first it looked like maybe the game is not going to be that great to play or that fun to play or whatever. But then seeing people play it, and seeing that like what they were doing, like all those animations look better in game. It was definitely helpful, because like I'm very excited about the cameo system, but like everything else just is not like pushing me to be like, this is gonna be it. I mean, as far as characters go, Melina and Katana are the only ones that I'm like, well, Melina, Katana, and Johnny Cage are the only ones that I'm like, yeah, you know what? I kind of want to, I want to fuck around with that. But seeing them like do shit just looks kind of boring for some reason, and like I've seen other people say the same thing, and it's like hard to put into words. But seeing the actual beta like footage and gameplay footage, it looks way better. So it looks like promising. But I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm still kind of on the fence when it comes to this.
I understand that a little bit, but anything about presentation, normally I give NRS the benefit of the doubt because presentation wise, they usually do a pretty good job. It's just their UI is always what's sus. And seeing that they actually finally knocked it out of the park for like the first time in a literal decade, I'm proud of you, man. Proud of you guys. The eyebrow man really coming through. But remember, the fierce competition, because Street Fighter 6 is just now getting its legs up underneath it. People are definitely strapped in for the long haul for that. Will MK1 struggle for sales against Capcom's behemoth? No. We know Mortal Kombat is always going to get their share of the market by hook, by crook. It doesn't matter. It's one of those things where it's gotten to an era of it's too big to fail. So obviously people are going to give it a try. And if it's as good as it looks, Tekken 8 has 2 very tough acts to follow next year. But Tekken being a 3D fighter doesn't have to play nice because it's got its own bag. However, I do feel like any other 3D fighter, you going to catch hell trying to fight Tekken. I'm going to just say that right now.
Oh, yeah.
Though I don't think those skies are safe to sail. That's all I'm going to tell you
They're releasing
about
an
that.
alpha that has every character that's been announced so far, and that's like 16 characters. So, yeah, this is going to be kind of hard to beat that right now.
So, I don't know. I just feel bad for games like KOF. Like, I know they're still going to have their loyal player bases, obviously, but like, there are definitely some that are showcasing that now that they're leaving the PS4 and the Xbox One behind. Whoo! The next generation fighting games are going to be quite the tall order to make. And I don't know if a lot of these developers are going to be willing to fully put their effort into it because DNF just confirmed that they're locking themselves in for at least another year of content. I don't know who's going to be playing it. I don't know who it's for. But we're just now getting like shades of Spectre, and they've announced 4 more characters and 2 new stages, but no new game modes, which is kind of insane given the fact that there's only 3 outside of the online game mode. But, I guess it is what it is. We'll see what we can get. It was only $39.99 at launch, and I'm sure it's even cheaper now. But speaking of fighting games, Rashido is coming to Street Fighter 6, and
he's coming.
His ultra ignorance and his buttons, all the gimmicks and wall jump shenanigans you saw from Street Fighter 5 seem to be coming back in spades because they gave this man a free AA jump in Street Fighter 6, plus being able to have stuff like the drive rush. And look, I don't want to see drive rush spinning mixer. I don't care how far away he is from you. You're not social distancing. He's on you. He's there.
Hey, do you think that he has the dash attack that he had in Street Fighter 5, which is like a mini spinning mixer?
Yeah, if he has that, we're cooked. I don't want to see that. But will I say the character looks sick? Absolutely. Looking sick was never Rashid's problem. It's just, I know what he does. Mm-hmm. That man is a villain. I don't care if he's the new hero of the new generation of Street Fighter. He's a villain. That's Luke's job now. You let Luke and Jamie handle the heroics. Because that man is a villain. He pulled up on a scene with a scouter looking like Nappa and Vegeta's third man. Not to be trusted. But ultimately, will he be sick? Absolutely. Will he be dangerous? Of course he is. My only issue is, as we've seen with games of the yesteryear, when a new fighting game character comes out, they're not always what we would call battle tested. They're not always what we would call in line with the rest of the cast. We would sometimes say in some cases they are overtuned. And with only 2 weeks between his release and EVO, it would make sense to make sure that character is banned at EVO. Except he's not. They're letting him rock. So if you don't have somebody who's going to give you a lot of matchup experience in 2 weeks, which means, remember, someone's got to really learn the character. That could take 4 to 5 days. And even then, they don't really know the character because people haven't adapted strategies to fight the day one strategies of that character. So the meta game between the ebb and flow of what your character is going to do versus that character in that matchup will not be solved in 2 weeks. No way, no shape, no form, no how. And those who are, really adept at having, a pocket Rashid in their back pocket while already having like a god like Marissa, JP, Jury, Cammy, characters that are super solid and like you guys are real even and they pull out a character that you don't know anything about, but they've already gotten the tendencies out of you in games 1 and 2. I'm just saying it's going to be a wild ride having a character that has a double jump, had some of the best harassment buttons in the last game, coming to this game, and you only got 2 weeks to learn and prepare. And keep in mind, some people say, well, this isn't a big problem because in most tournaments, the tournament entries are only like anywhere from 500 to like 1,400 people, which while, yes, that's true, that's a lot. But oftentimes you're not necessarily too worried about having to make that crazy losers run. But they've already confirmed that the Street Fighter has already broke over 5K. So you might fight 8 opponents and still only be in like top 296 or something like that. You want to be in top?
Realistically speaking, 2 weeks is not enough for a character to be tournament ready unless they have some amazing tech that you believe is going to like scrub out some people and like get you at least out of pools. So most likely you're not really going to have a lot of Rashid players in tournament. You're going to have people playing their like beta characters, playing their like, master rank characters that they've been playing for the past like month, that kind of shit. Which means if we do see Rashid players, there's some tech that they're hiding. And they believe that he is that much better than whatever character they were playing before. So what is it? Like JB is like a Rashid player from 5 who I think he's playing Luke right now. Luke? No, he's playing Jamie. Okay, he's playing Jamie right now. And so like if he believes that Rashid is that much better than Jamie, then maybe, he'll pick up a 2-week Rashid for Evo. But like Evo is too big of a tournament for people to be like dropping their mains for a character that they don't believe is like cheap enough to get them there. So yeah.
It's kind of insane, right?
Yeah, it's insane, but like realistically, it's not going to be as big of a deal as people are going to hype it up to be on Twitter. It's going to be fun and entertaining, but like you're not going to have enough people who are going to be bold enough to make that jump, or the people who are just going to like get cooked because they won't have enough experience with the character. So yeah, I mean, but like we all fear that it's going to be an MK Tanya situation, and that is entertaining to see. It could be. I don't remember how many weeks it was before Evo Japan when Leroy came out, but like we don't want like a Tekken 7 Leroy situation where like everyone's like, this character is just too good, I gotta play him, and then half the top 8 is playing that character because he's just so good at all the things that they do when they're playing the game. Unless Rashid does that, people aren't going to pick him up.
That's not what I want. That is not what the crowd needed.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. It's tough. Now, me personally, do I think it's probably beneficial to keep him banned? Absolutely. But at the same time, it's all about hype. And what's going to generate hype? As you can see, Capcom loves to be Mr. Worldwide these days. They had Red Bull Kumite in South Africa. They're willing to expand. So you get some, they have, I think they're having a Middle Eastern event coming up soon.
I believe so, yeah.
So having Rashid is right on time. So having him at Evo, right on time. The World Warriors are growing in size. So yeah, I think that him being there is just, for good optics and the fact that, well, we sold the character, people bought the character, and we don't want the people who are really waiting for that character to feel like their time is wasted. Come on in here. And besides, there's so many online qualifiers that are going to be coming after this. Sure, you may not win the Evo prize, or maybe you're going to be bummed out because you got quote unquote scrubbed out by a Rashid player at Evo. But there's so many different online events that'll be coming to be able to play in the comfort of your own house. It's not like it affected anybody's chances of getting the million. This isn't as big of a monkey wrench of competitive integrity as some might think.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, you're right. Like, it's not going to be, it's not going to like ruin your chance to get the million or anything like that. So, and if anything busted does come out about Rashid, then most likely Evo will make like a last minute announcement of like, hey, you can't play him. But I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm pretty sure Capcom, since Capcom themselves were like, he's allowed at Evo, I mean, I'm pretty sure they haven't found anything either.
The last time I remembered something like this that had happened was when they let Tanya rock at CEO 2015, and that character was like 6 out of 8 spots in top 8 because they were uber broke, and it didn't matter which variation you chose. Nah, I do not foresee anything Rashid is going to do is going to be that over the top crazy, because I mean Marissa exists, Blanca exists, like characters are already doing crazy things, some of which we're not even sure if it's actually intended, but it's in the game.
You know, the fun part about that CEO was like, which variation is this Tanya going to play? Because, I keep seeing everyone play, Kobujutsu, but maybe, someone's going to pick the other one or another one that no one is picking. I want to see. And then I saw 2 variations in that top 8, and I was kind of sad. And then we stopped seeing Tanya for quite some time. So,
and that's it was, what was it, Revit Leafing? Like that was the only, and he was playing Draconic Naginata. So the third one. It's like I said, Tanya was always really good, even after the nerfs, but not good enough to where you would want to be running into that man. That man is playing Kotal Khan right now, another strong mid-tier character. But who really wants to fight Predator?
Yeah,
Alien. Hell, Jason, Shinnok. Like, they don't want to fight these characters with a mid-tier character, especially one that had to play their games at all time. So that is what that is in an interesting way. But folks, I think that about concludes it for this week. I'm glad you all came through. Man, we were able to finish this before midnight and after late start time. We are professionals at work. But anyways, is there anything you'd like to close us out on this week?
Well, if you guys haven't heard from any of your friends in a while, hit them up. If you're thinking about them, hit them up. Be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? How you doing? Because you never know what's happening. You never know what's going to happen. Make sure the people that you love are like, okay. Make sure that you keep in touch with them as much as you want to or need to or whatever. Make sure that, you're all good. Because you never know what's going to happen. And you always think that you could just put it off and be like, you're going to have more time later to like hit up this person. But in some cases you're not going to, and that's never good to approach the hard way.
You never want to have the last thought about somebody be, man, I should have talked to him more.
Yeah.
So do what you can to avoid that. And we'll see you guys next week. Till then, y'all take care. Shasha.